Tomorrow marks 10 years since the crash of American Airlines Flight 587 in Queens. The flight had taken off from Kennedy Airport and was headed to the Dominican Republic when it crashed in the Bell Harbor neighborhood. 265 people died, including 5 on the ground. A ceremony to remember the victims is set for tomorrow morning at the memorial in Bell Harbor. And to mark the 10th anniversary, there will be a special free screening of the documentary Flight 587 Honor on Sunday in Washington Heights. Joining me now are the award-winning filmmaker and Queens resident, J.D., and Belkis Laura, president of the Committee in Memory of Flight 587. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
J.D., where were you, and what was your first thought when you heard about the crash?
Well, when I first heard about the crash in 2001, I panicked because I follow air accidents. And as a filmmaker, I thought to myself, oh my God, I just want to get to these people. But I waited 5 years before I started on the project.
You waited 5 years. This was just a couple of months after 9/11, so I mean, one of my thoughts was this is another attack immediately, and then we discovered it wasn't.
Correct.
That it was another thing altogether. And why did you decide then, if you waited 5 years, why did you decide you wanted to make this documentary 5 years later?
Well, I'm a resident of Queens and an independent filmmaker, and I felt it was my duty to draw attention to this flight. It's the #2 worst air accident in American history on U.S. soil, and I felt that it was the forgotten flight. I just wanted to draw attention to it.
And what's the focus?
The focus is on the families. Most documentaries recreate what happened and what went wrong. And I was concerned with who was on the plane, who was traveling, why were they traveling, and what happened to their families in the aftermath.
Was it difficult for you to get them to agree to be part of the documentary?
Some people were hesitant to allow me to interview them, but Belkis here was phenomenal.
How did you link up with Belkis?
I read about Belkis on the internet when I was doing my research to do the film, and then I showed up at the memorial on the 5th anniversary of the memorial, and I introduced myself to her. We exchanged contact information, and she's been absolutely cooperative and very helpful to make the film.
Belkis, you lost someone in the crash. Who'd you lose?
My brother.
Your brother. How did you cope with that?
Well, to remember him every day, the good time that we have, and to do something for their memory stay alive. And that's why, you know, that's keep me to move forward and just not to let nobody forget about, you know, the loved one that we lost on that day.
So what made you decide to cooperate with your partner here in this documentary?
Because, like she say, she wants to do something about who they were. And that's what I want. And I want people to know, you know, I lost my brother. Not only the name, I want people to know who he was and how great he was to my family. And when she approached to me and she said like she wants to do a film only about, you know, the families, about your loved one, then I say, you know what, yeah, that's what I want, because right now that's the only comfort that I have talking about my brother.
Okay. The film is being screened in Washington Heights Sunday, right?
Sunday, 2
Why'd you
o'clock.
choose Washington Heights?
Well, a lot of the crash victims' families, a lot of the crash victims are from Washington Heights, and the families still live there.
So it's a free screening. It's
Yes.
at the Word Community Bookshop.
Word Up Community Bookshop.
Word Up Community Bookshop. What time?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Broadway, 176th Street.
Okay. Well, J.D. and Belkis, thank you very much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
And we're sorry for your loss, Belkis.
Thank you.
Up next, as we continue, keep your head up, your eyes open. There is a major concern about trees across the area damaged by the October nor'easter. Plus, he says he made the Yankee cap more popular than a Yankee can. Now he's moving on to Occupy t-shirts. We'll explain when we come back.